Hello, good evening. Clear, no? Audios. Can you hear me? Okay, no? Hi, hi, hi. Right. So, the last week actually start that the second lesson one. No? Second lesson actually I have in there 5 topics in there. All the each topics have some ideas. I recently last week I explained what are the ideas that you have according to the each topic. So, okay, understanding communication is there. You already know what is the communication idea. Understanding means that feelings, thoughts, information exchanging. That is the idea about the communication. You already know about that thing. Okay. After that, nature idea is there. Nature means how we actually get the idea about the background of the communication. So nature, the environment, the surrounding, or the background of the communication. So we have the what are the aims of the communication. Sometimes it's symbolic. Sometimes it has a contextual idea. Means uh, communicators, senders, receiver, signals, experiences. So many things in terms of that thing. That is a contextual idea, and sometimes it can develop. It can make some power ideas effect to the society, and another thing. Sometimes it's one way type we can use for the communication idea, and the two-way type also we can see in there, and some variations we can see according to the communication. That is the nature of the communication. Today we have discussed that thing. Before that, just for the summary idea, okay, just explanation about the last topics. And after that, the fundamentals of the communication, I gave the word actually. Sometimes they use in the communication that paper, that's not the fundamental idea. They use elements word for that thing. So elements or fundamental both are same idea. Mainly we write 4 elements in there last week actually: communicator, message, medium, and receiver. That's 4 things actually the main elements of the communication. Not only that, some 8 elements are there, but without these 4 elements, that 8 elements actually not activated. So mainly you have to know these 4 elements. 4 elements means who is communicator, who is receiver, what is the message, and what is the medium. That is the 4 main elements of the communication, or the fundamentals of the communication. So the next one, definitions of the communication. Mainly in this lesson, you can get the other pages and you can see that thing. 5 definitions we have to learn about according to the communication idea in this lesson. Harold Laswell's definition you can see in there, and Wilbur Schramm's definition already we can see in there. Claude Shannon and Warren Weber's definition is there, and mainly Charles Cooley's definition is there, and lastly the that dictionary idea also there, in Oxford dictionary. So why these 4 scholars, and why this the Oxford idea in there? Why these 4 scholars idea means actually in the first lesson we point out that 4 scholars names we highlight that thing already. Why? In that time I told you these names actually you can learn again in the second lesson, third lesson, fourth lesson, sometimes 13 some lessons also. That much very important scholars, no, the main scholars of the subject, no. Sometimes they will be like Wilbur Schramm, mainly in their father of communication studies. So here's a reason to develop this subject. So that's why their names comes for this thing. So many scholars we know, but we have to learn. We have to get the ideas about these main definitions. That the thing. Other definitions, 300, 400 definitions are there, but only 5 definitions we discuss because the main scholars' ideas. That's why. Role and functions ideas. Their role mainly actually Harold Laswell also gave some ideas about the roles, and Wilbur Schramm also developed that idea. Harold Laswell developed a surveillance idea. We can discuss that in the fourth lesson. Don't worry about that thing. Harold Laswell developed a surveillance idea. Surveillance is some kind of a supervision idea. Think a lot and think deeply and looking deeply about any situation, and you can explain that thing to the more to the society using your curiosity and logical thinking. surveillance is the first idea about herald as well idea, and secondly, newscasting idea. How we spread the news to the other global countries and locally, nationally. How we spread our news. That's another role of the mass media. Lastly, he explained that shape thinking about idea. It means that how we think about the media and how it can change our thinking capacity, thinking levels. That the idea. Mainly the Wilbersham's roles idea very famous. According to that things, Wilbersham says mass media or communication have the firstly teacher role. It has actually teacher means uh, it can teach something. It can develop the people's knowledge according to the streams that they use. So teacher role is there mainly, and secondly, guardian role is there. Guardian role means safeguarding the people. And sometimes in the past, you know that in Gotabaya Rajapaksa's that time period, the Gota go home comes to Sri Lanka. That idea comes in Sri Lanka mainly. With some after that thing that Gotabaya resigned of his position, so no presidency in that time in Sri Lanka. So mainly the name as an acting president we can see in there Ranil Wickremesinghe, because Ranil Wickremesinghe in that time the prime minister in Sri Lanka. So there's some 2-3 weeks after there's no any president in Sri Lanka. In that time, media mainly focus about that point, and they always discuss about that. Who is the next parliament? Who is the next president? And who is the next leader of Sri Lanka? Actually, who can get this critical situation in that critical situation time? No presidents, but every area Sri Lanka have the struggles. People always raise their voice against the parliament, against the government. It's a very cruel situation, and that time our economy also down, our IMF rates also down, blaming to Sri Lanka, and we are corrupted idea number one country in South Asia. So lot of negative things are there. In that time, who take this challenge in this critical situation? That idea developed by the media. So that is the guarding idea, safeguarding idea. And after that thing, forum of discussion idea means people's ideas gather together, and it can develop the policies for the next generation, future. That is the idea. After we discuss that, this lesson is actually foundation of the communication. You all know what is the foundation of the communication. As we discuss about that, the information is the foundation of the communication. We have to know about that. But actually, information is not only one thing, it's a collection of so many things. What are the collection of so many things in there? Data, intelligence, facts, figures, statics, our experiences, language, idea, vocabulary, everything can make some ideas go into information. So information is not only one thing, it's a collection of ideas. Okay, that's the thing. And information is the basement of the communication. Without information, how we exchange something for the other people. Feelings, thoughts, yeah, but feelings and thoughts also can develop what thing? Some kind of information, news, some kind of that type of idea, news, that type of mainly thing. That is the idea. So after that thing, that's in there. After the thing, that 4 points are there in the bottom of the first page, and it's exchanging idea. We already know about that thing. Okay, it's connected with our behavior. So many behavior ideas there, mainly that attitudinal idea and behaviors ideas. They're thinking, feeling, reading, writing, entertainment. So many things are there. Just it means actually it's a practical thing. Communication is not only a simple. It is a simple thing, yeah, but sometimes it's deep. Okay, but normally in the life, every people use this thing in day-to-day life. That's a very familiar thing for our life. And living also a communication system. You already know about that thing. Feelings, our thoughts, our thinking, already inside our brain and the nerve system also have a communication. So without communication, people can't live. So it's a very simple thing. Okay, and it's connected with everything. That is the point. So many behaviors are there means it's connected with every area. That is the point. Third one, communication is the foundation for the relationship between the individual and society. So individual means you, your friends, your family, that type of people. Social means your working place, your school, your classes, outside areas. Yeah. As a stranger, you can get so many examples, experiences from the society. And some people you don't know, some people you know. Both are there. That idea is here. Okay. Last one, creating the opportunity to make known what is known. If you know something, you can share that thing to others. Make known what is known. That is the thing. In Sinhala, we can say in the Sinhala, they in the paper they add that thing. Danagatte danagatwimata salasvi. Danagatte danaganimata salasvi. Make known what is known. If you know something, you have to share that thing. But if you don't know something, you can't develop informal ideas to society. It's illegal. It's a wrong, negative idea. That's the point. After the thing we discuss just for the origin, the communication word idea. In there, three terms are there. We already discussed that thing. Latin term, English term is there. Latin plus English, that combined idea. The Latin idea is here. A Latin idea, mainly munis is the word of the Latin idea, munis. Munis is there. Okay, munis. Munis means what that idea, doer of something, doer of something, right? It means the communicator, send idea, okay? That's a Latin idea. And the English idea, English word is common. Common means general things. It means our sense, our experience, that type of thing. So combine after that thing, these two, we can see a word like communist. Communist what thing? Ones who make something public. Make something public. As an example, we can say news. Gossips also we can get that, no problem, but gossip is a wrong thing, we know, but gossips are commonly, publicly, we can share that thing. We can, if you share that thing, it's a wrong thing, but gossips are shared things, spreading widely. That is the idea in here. So if someone spreads something to some people, to society or the public, every area, that is the idea about that he wants to make something public. If they ask, in the paper they ask, using some terms according to the communication word meaning, explain that thing what is actually in there. So practically you can use this Latin meaning and the English meaning and combine the words and take the idea once to make something public. As an example, you can use news, gossips. Some rumors are there, myths are there, advertisements are there, notices are there, so many things are there. After this normal idea in there, and now the communication means what thing, imparting exchanging of information by speaking, writing, or using another medium. Not only speaking, writing, acting, acting, sometimes performing, creating, directing, all the things we can use. Okay, but if you are the communicator, you have to use general things. Okay, common things, common language, common experiences, standard symbols and signs. Without that thing, it's not a proper communication. Okay, signs, that think about the road signs or something. Think about road signs or something. Proper sign can make a proper sense, okay, but it's not a proper thing. Sometimes we can see in there that sign meaning we don't know, then we can't use that thing properly. Okay, think about that thing. So that is the idea, but it's the thing Latin and English meaning. Okay, next one, Sinhala term idea. Sinhala term already we know, but Sinhala name is, we know Sannivedana, you know, that is the word. Sannivedana is a common word. We can divide that thing sang, ni, and ved, and vedane. Normally, yeah, Sinhala. Okay. In Sinhala, what are the meanings of this thing? Sang means manav. Manav. Oh, manav. Ni means ekabadda in Sinhala, okay? We have to use the English word, okay? It means දැනීම් or හැඟීම්. දැනීම් හැඟීම්. Feelings, emotions also. වේදනය පැතිරවීම. Okay, that is the idea. But the English words you have to use it like that. Finally, mana, combined idea. With means feelings or emotions. Both we can use feelings. One spreading. So what is the meaning of this English meaning about the communication? Finally, combine the feelings and spreading. Same like the public wants to make something public, kind of same. Okay, the person or news read or news writer or actor, actress or director or script writer, or if some ideas combine together and add the feelings for that thing and spreading somewhere using a proper medium, okay? Proper media you have to use, and common symbols you have to use in there, and target who? Receiver you have to use in there. Target receiver. We have a target receiver, that is a formal communication. Okay. But gossips, rumors have what type of receivers? Tell me, sister. Gossip, rumors, myths have what type of receiver? Okay, think about. Tell me. That type of systems have what type of receiver? Now the news so report or that type of things, gazette or law or have a formal, very target audience is there. But gossip, rumors, fake messages, fake news, that type of things have what type of receivers? Just tell me. What type of receiver we can see there? What type of receiver? Tell me. What type of receiver? Proper, logical type receiver or any other informal? Good. Informal, actually, yeah, informal, correct, no problem. It's not a target receiver, okay? Not a target receiver. Because you can see that thing nowadays in the TikTok or Facebook or whatever it is, any other social media also. It's viral effects are there, viral, trending, viral things are there. You can see the views. Okay. If you search that inside of the, if you put something to Instagram or something, are you using Instagram view? Instagram using no? Already. If you use Instagram, you post a post in there. After you can see in the inside idea. Inside is there. You have to search that analytics is there. Analytics in the post. You click that thing and go there. You can see how many people follow you and how many people follow this post and what age limits are there. What is the age ideas are there, and are the thing organic followers or inorganic followers in there. Okay, if you boost that post, you can see it's not organic, inorganic followers also you follow that. Organic followers means your followers, not a new thing. You have followers, some amount of followers. They can follow you firstly, but if you boost that thing or not, or it's a viral type video or viral type post or something, automatically other outside followers also try to follow this post. So that's why it's become an informal idea, because you target your followers, but unfortunately, or your luck or your bad luck, whatever it is, outside followers also watch that thing or follow that thing. That's why that proper messages or proper formats have a proper target receivers. Gossips, rumors, myths have not target means informal type receivers are there. We don't know how many people are there, right? Okay, that is single term idea. After that thing we have discussed what thing? We have already discussed that thing. Tamil meaning about the idea. Okay, Tamil meaning actually this idea Todarpadal. Todarpadal meaning actually is a group type idea, group activities. Okay. And is some kind of a developing relationships. Okay. Relationships is some kind of that type of idea. Peacemaking, sharing our feelings to others, get their ideas for us, that the thing, that idea is there. So three terms is there. In the exam, if they ask to write or in the MCQ paper, they give the meaning and they ask this meaning according to what term? If they ask, only three terms we have. What are the three terms? Latin English term we have, Sinhala term we have, and lastly, Tamil term we have. Right. After that, hierarchy of the languages. We wrote that thing. We discussed that thing out. Hierarchy languages. Finished or not? Hierarchy of the language. Finished or not? Two types are there. Active language, deactive language. Two ideas are there. We wrote that thing or not? No, right. Today we have discussed that thing. Now, in here, hierarchy of the language. What is the hierarchy? Meaning, hierarchy means what thing? Any idea that you have? The government have a hierarchy. Society have a hierarchy. School have a hierarchy. Family also have a hierarchy. Hierarchy means what? Any idea that you have? Hierarchy. 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 Any idea? Hierarchy. Hierarchy. In the government to government. No, right. In the government, it has actually, according to the situation, according to the occasion, change the idea, meaning, okay? Think about the government, use the government sector, the public sector, have some levels are there in the jobs, professions, okay? Government based, so private also have this thing. In the government public sector, the working professional sector based ideas, hierarchy is the responsible levels. Okay. It means top to bottom responsible levels. According to that thing, public sector or private sector, profession based hierarchy is top to bottom responsible levels. Top to bottom responsible levels. Top to bottom responsible levels. Just example like that president is here, the first citizen, okay, of a country, the top level of the professions, top level, okay. And the last GS, we can see a Gaon, it's a rural area. GS means that Gram Sekha Mahatma, GS, top to bottom layer, that ground layer person, GS, top to every responsible person is this person. According to profession base, this is the idea. Okay, this is the idea. Society also have this type of hierarchy. Culture also have this type of hierarchy. In the school, think about principal top level, and you can see that clerical staff is there, not the teachers, and other school staff, workers are there. The two people are in the ground level. That top level, we can see the principals, deputy principals, sectional heads, teachers, so many people are there. Top to bottom responsible levels is the idea of the hierarchy. But in the language, it's not a profession idea. No? In the language-based ideas, hierarchy means the classification. It means how we divide the languages according to the active stage or deactive stage. That is the thing. Okay. So hierarchy, near to that thing, just write down the classification. Okay. How we divide classification. Classification of the language. Classification of the language. Classification. How we classify? How we classify it actually? At the thing. Classification of the language. Language. Language is here. Now there's a space in here. No? This frame is there. Now, firstly, in the middle means not the middle. In the top level, it's idea is like, okay, now the frame like this. No? Now here, write down in here, middle, language. You have to write the language word and divide him by 2 branches. Okay, like this. Just write down. Language have 2 classifications. Language, 2 types. Okay, after finish the thing, please tell me. Language, write down the word in the middle and divide into 2 branches. After finish the thing, please tell me. Then we can write down what are the classification of the language. Okay. Right. Now, you have to know there are 2 types of languages we can see in here. Firstly, active languages. Active languages. Active language. Active language. Active languages. It's there. Active languages. In here, active. In here, just write deactive languages. Deactive languages. Active languages, deactive languages. Active languages, deactive languages. Okay. After that, tell me. Active languages, deactive languages. Sometimes they use inactive languages, so no problem for that thing. Just active in here, deactive or inactive in here. After finish that thing, tell me. Okay. Okay, right. Now, each types of languages have several types of characteristics. Okay. In the exam, if they ask to write active languages character, what are the answers according to the following things? It's suitable for the active language or deactive language. You have to, in that time, you have to understand what are the active language characteristics or what are the deactive or inactive language characteristics. Okay. Now, firstly, you have to get that idea. Before that thing, what is active, what is deactive? Okay. Active means this thing. Please get the idea properly. Yeah. Active means this thing. But active means in the past also we used this language and very far expand languages, but still we use that type of languages far and now. Both times we can use a main language, standard national language. That type of languages are active. It means in the past also we use this type of language. Nowadays also we can use this type of language. It means very standard, common, general type languages. You know national languages. All the national languages are active. Why? National languages, no? All the citizens in our country, they use the common language. In Sri Lanka, what is the national language? 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 National language. In Sri Lanka, Sinhala. In India, what is the national language? In India, what is the national language? In India, what is the national language? India. What is the national language? India. Think about India, you mostly watch the films and teledramas. If you watch, you get the idea. Okay, Hindi. That's the idea. Think about national languages. National language, all the national languages are common language. In China, Chinese. That is the national language. In Japan, Japanese. Is that main language are always active languages. Okay. What is the Sri Lankan second national language? What is the Sri Lanka second national language? Have any idea about that? What is the Sri Lanka second national language? Sri Lanka second national language. What is the Sri Lanka second national language? Very simple. In the past, our Sri Lanka was so dependent on that thing. In the past, Prabhakaran developed this for mainly. This is the problem for that thing. What language is the national? Thank you, Tamil. What language is the national language in Sri Lanka? So, Sinhala language in here. There's no in other countries have Sinhala. But Tamil we can see in the India also. Actually, Tamil comes in that time, that area. Tamil, but our country actually in the past, some mixed languages ideas are there. Actually, in Sinhala, some letters actually starts from the Tamil. Actually, that design, the sign actually start from the Tamil letter. As an example, I can give you this thing. Now we write in Sinhala E like this. And there E, see, their ideas there. We write the sir like this. And their sir like this. See, ideas are there. Okay. And in Tamil, ana, avarna, this one like this. And our A like this. Similar ideas are there. Close, no? The ideas are there. Think about that thing. They are R like this. R. And our like this. And Tamil E like this. And we put two dots for the E. So some familiar ideas comes with Tamil. So that's why in the Prabhakaran also they always say that thing, Sri Lanka's national language is Tamil, not Sinhala. It's a mixed language. So we have to properly develop this idea again. Sri Lanka's national language is Tamil. It's not the second national language. Second national language is Sinhala because it's mixed from Tamil. Okay. And this is that in the Tamil, pure Tamil people in there, Jaffna, Sri Lankan Tamil. They don't know sometimes any words of Sinhala. So that Indian Tamil people know some other words because mixed, no. But Sri Lankan pure Tamil people, sometimes they don't know any Tamil, single words. So after that thing, the Tamil people have a problem for that. What thing? They can't understand the singular words. And in that Jaffna area, there's some ruling that some boards, sign boards, the bus boards, actually sometimes they can see singular words in there, but they can't understand what is the meaning about that. So in that time, Prabhakaran says, actually, the Sri Lankan Sinhala people don't give us a chance to communicate. Why? They restrict that thing and they put our language for second national language and they put their language for the first national language. But language means language. No? Sri Lankan identity language is Sinhala, our language. But Tamil language comes to Sri Lanka from India. Okay, so that's the point. That's the main point to develop this war in Sri Lanka. 30 years war. But still that attitude we can see in Jaffna area. Very sad about that thing. How also we say. Okay. So active language means in the past or present or anytime we can use this language. Now tell me, what is deactive? According to my point, now think and tell me logically. Okay, this one in the past or present we can use that type of language, active, okay. Then what is deactive? Tell me practically. What is deactive? What is deactive language? What is deactive language? Tell me. What is deactive language? According to my point, think. According to my point, logically think and tell me what is deactive language. Language that was only used in the past. Good sister, but idea is here. Okay, good, no problem. But it's one thing you have to correct in there. Yeah, mainly these languages are very rural and that past ideas. I agree for that thing, no problem. But now also we can see that type of languages, but not much more people use that thing. Okay, no. But after the examples, you can give a confused about that thing. Only one language idea is there. How it actually possible? After the examples, you can get that confusion. But firstly, we can develop the idea about the characteristics. Then we can discuss about the examples. In that time, I explain why this language comes for the active. Okay, because past idea is okay, yeah. But nowadays also we can see that language, but not much more people used. That's why it's become a deactive. Okay, active language in the past also commonly used, now also commonly used. That's why it's become a active, always active. But deactive language in the past, mostly people used that thing, but nowadays few people use that. You know the regional languages are there. Down, south, north, central, candy central, that area also. Your area also. Provincially, we can see some differences from the language. So in the Jaffna people, they are Tamil and Navalapiti, Hatton, Muscat, Orly and Kandy, this area's Tamil have totally different pronunciations. Tamil means Tamil, but their slang, their pattern, their pronunciation totally different. Okay, that is the idea about the deactive. In the past, commonly people use, but nowadays few people use. That's why deactive. Now, in the active category, in here, in the left-hand side, just put these characteristics in there. Put a star. But firstly, only the first point, first characteristic actually in the active and deactive both have same. Only first characteristic. Okay. The first characteristic same to the active and deactive, samely, but only the first characteristic. Other characteristics totally opposite from active. Okay. So first characteristic is now you know far expansion. Far expansion. Yes. This one also far expansion. That is the only common characteristics for the active and deactive languages. Okay. Only common characteristic. Only one. Far expand. Far expand active. Far expand deactive. Because both are have the past ideas. Okay. After write down, tell me okay. Okay. Only this characteristic. Far expand for both. Far expand for both. Right. Now the second thing. Now the second thing. This type of active languages are Standard. Standard. That's why it's become a state languages comes like that. Standard. Very standard. Well, that's why we use that thing. That's why we can use to write something, read something, understand something. Okay? Standard. And deactive language, what is the characteristic? Opposite of that thing. This one standard, this one? What? Tell me. This one standard. Active, deactive, deactive. Standard or not? What is the characteristic? Standard for the active, deactive ones. What is the characteristic? Deactive. This one active, standard. This one, what is the characteristic? Opposite of the active means, what is the idea? This one standard, this one standard. This one not standard. Not standard. Okay? So write down there. Not standard. Not standard. We can't say anything standardly in the deactive language types. People can't understand. Why? Some few people know that thing. Most of the people don't know the meaning about that. That's the thing. Now put the third star. Third star. These active languages are very formal. Formal. Then what is the deactive language idea? This one formal, this one, what thing? Opposite, no? Very simple. This one formal, informal. Good. That's why so many gossips and myths comes from the rural languages. Why? Formal, not informal. Not formal, informal. Gazettes or news or that type of reliable things comes from formal languages. Why? All the peoples have to understand it. That thing. But myths and rural area folk tales or something comes from what thing? Deactive languages. Because few people know that experiences. Few people know that ideas. Now, fourth star for the active language and fourth star for the deactive language. What thing? Next thing, these active languages are very simple. That's why we can use that thing anytime, anywhere. No problem. But this thing, deactive language, simple opposite is what? This one simple, this one. Why the few people use that thing? Because most of people can't use that thing because active languages are simple. Deactive languages are what thing? Simple opposite thing. Very simple. Simple active languages. Deactive language is not simple. It means what thing? It's complex. That's the idea. Complex. Right. Now the next thing. Next for the active languages. Next for the deactive languages. Okay. This type of languages are very flexible. Why? We can use this thing for writing. We can use this thing for reading. We can use this thing for performance, some supportive factor. We can use this. That's why it become what thing? Very flexible. Anytime, anywhere, anything, we can use it, no problem. But reactive languages, sometimes we can't use that thing properly. Why we don't know the actual pattern, or sometimes we don't know the past old alphabet. to write this language, some words or something. As an example, that word first written language is cuneiform. Okay, cuneiform from Iraq, Sumerians. Okay, it's a tribal ancient language. Okay, first language in the world. They use clay plates to write this thing, that letters like this. Okay, they have alphabet, but that alphabet don't have I or J. Okay, that's why I can't use this language to write my name. I tried that thing few times, but only one letter actually missing. It means what thing? Actually, we don't have clues for that thing. Proper sources we don't have. That's why we can't use this type of language to write down something properly. Okay. That's why it become what thing? It's one flexible, it's one inflexible. Just write down. Inflexible. It's not flexible. Can't use that. Can't use that. Inflexible. Okay. Oh, this is the idea. Only one thing you have to write. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1. And sixth one for here. This type of active languages we can use commonly. Anytime, anywhere. That's why it becomes a state language. But this type of languages are regional. Rural areas, few people use this language. That's where regional idea comes. So active languages actually have the common idea. The active languages have regional, rural, some frame idea. That's why it become deactive languages. That's the point. Okay, that is the point. So now you know the main two classification of the language. Active languages idea here, deactive or inactive languages ideas are here. Only one thing commonly we can use as a characteristic in here, that far expand idea, and this also same far expand idea for the active and the deactive. Only that one, only that one. Other things are completely opposite. And there's some space in the left hand side. There's some space. Yeah, small space in there. Under that thing, if you can, you can write this thing. It's really important. You have to write this idea. Language means actually a collection of symbols and signs. You have to use that thing simply express your feelings or ideas to someone. That's a simple idea about the language. You don't want to write that thing, you already know what is a language. Can do, no? It's okay. But you write one thing in there. Do you know the duality of the language? Have you heard about that word? Duality of the language. Duality of language. Have you ever heard about that one? Duality of the language. Duality of the language. Duality. Ever heard about that thing? Duality of the language. Duality. Duality of the language. What is duality? Recently. Nope. But actually you use that thing. That's the problem. Now also you use that thing, but you don't know the idea about duality. It's okay. In the past, I also don't know what is duality. But after the ages comes, what the experiences comes and the subject idea comes, we understand, okay, duality means this thing. Duality means very simple thing. In the left hand or right hand, just give simple space and write down. Duality means the idea, this thing. Duality have two things, no dual, no. Duality means what are the forms that we can use, format or forms we can use to express our ideas using language. These ideas you can see spoken. Every language have a spoken type idea. First type of the duality. Second type is written idea. So we call spoken language and written language. So spoken language and written language is what thing? Duality of the language. Just write down. Left hand or right hand side, just write down duality. Duality means the two formats that we can use to express our ideas to someone. Two types are there. Spoken language type is firstly, written language type ideas secondly. Please note down that. After that, please tell me what is the idea about it. Okay. After finished, please tell me. Okay. Spoken language we use to speak, right? And written language now we use to note down this thing. So in the notes we use written language, but I now use my spoken language to express that thing for you. Explain that. So in the explain we use spoken language, but you have to write. If you want to write something in the writing book or somewhere, note or somewhere, you have to use written language. Tell me, between the spoken and the written languages, what language actually formal and what is informal? Which one? Between these two, what is formal, what is informal? What is formal, what is informal? Tell me, what is formal, what is informal? This language is formal, this language is informal. How do you divide that? Which language is formal, which language informal? How do you divide that? Which language is formal, which language informal? How you say that? How do you explain that? Hmm? Which language? Formal, which language? Spoken, informal, written, formal. Good. That's why we don't use any informal words to write some notes or exam questions, answers. No? Why? This answer is a formal thing. You have a formalities are there. Frames are there, regulations are rules are there. System is there. Spoken also have some terms and practice and some levels, limits are there, but spoken mainly is a common thing, no? But written is sometimes commonly we can use, but written means have a standard always. That's the thing. Spoken language also have some standard is there. You have to agree for that thing, but more formal actually written. You correct. Good. Right. Now you have to write down the examples for the written, active language and deactive language. Under that active language and deactive language, you have write down these examples. Small space enough for that thing. For the active languages, just I can give you some national language for examples. Okay. Like the Sinhala, Sri Lankan language, Sinhala, Tamil, English is a world standard language, international language, and German, French, French, Chinese, Japanese, that type of things. Standard common languages. Standard common languages. Okay. As active ones. And here we can write the active language examples. After finish this thing and tell me. Okay. Right. The active languages, just you can write this type of things like Latin. Latin terms we can see in the language subject, but Latin mainly we can't use that Latin language now. Latin. In Sanskrit, you know Sanskrit, Indian idea, Sanskrit. Sanskrit, just write down Sanskrit. You know the Pali language. Yeah, right. And this one, this recently I told you that Sumerian's language is cuneiform. 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 You can write, put a bracket and write that. First written language. First written language is cuneiform. From Iraq Sumerians before 4,000 years ago. Okay? Not a new thing. I will finish this thing and tell me. Right? Okay. Right. The ancient Egypt people and that type of people, ancient people in the Egypt, Misr, that thing, and China also have that type of idea. Ancient peoples, they use this type of language. The chirography and pictography. Pictography, it means symbolizing language, symbol language, right? Symbolized language. Chirography and pictography. Both are the active language because now we can't use that language. Okay, in the archaeologically history based some explorations, they use this language to read the history of that people. But nowadays we can't use this type of language to write something. Then the confusing point after that thing, okay, finish. Is to finish. Okay. Okay. I have to write this thing. Symbolizing languages, huh? Symbolized language. In the Egypt, that pyramids have this type of letters. In Sinhala, we can say Rupakshara and Sanketakshara. Okay. Finished or not? Finished or not? Okay. 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 Right. The last thing is recently I told you, if I give this example, it's a confusion for you how it actually become a deactive language. Because this thing, the language type is this one. You know, the social media language, the SMS language, we call that thing. It's a combined language, just like Singlish or something. Singlish for the social SMS language. Singlish. In India, we can say Hinglish. In Tamil Nadu, we can say Tanglish. But mainly in Sri Lanka, we say Singlish. How it become a deactive, informal, not standard language? How actually? Any ideas that you have? Singlish. Okay. If you write that thing like this, Singlish, no? how it become a informal, not standard language? Any point that you have? Any point that you have in here? How it become? According to characteristics, read that thing and tell me. According to characteristics, Singlish means two languages in here. No? What is two languages? In here, we can see what language? Sinhala, okay? This idea. In here, we can say what thing? English. Both are which type of language? Both are which type of language? Tell me. Singlish, Sinhala and English both are which type of language? Which type of languages? Sinhala and English both are active languages. And active languages, what are the characteristics? Standard, common, flexible, formal, commonly. Verify, expand. Okay. These two languages are common standard languages. Okay. And both that standard language mixed together, the meanings are totally different sometimes. Okay. As an example, I told you this one. Now in the chatting, we use so many short ideas like this. No, what is this thing? What is this thing? What is this thing? What is this thing? Okay. What is this thing? Very simple. What is this thing? Good morning. If you say good morning to your general manager, simply we call shortly we say GM. GM, PM. In the morning, if you firstly see this thing, GM, GM. GM, if you think about you, GM, then someone put a message for you, GM, GM. Actually confusing, no? That is the point. That GM don't have this mixed idea because good morning, no? But in here, general manager. See, problem is there. And simple, this one, think about that. This one have a mixed single idea. BS. What is BS? What is BS? What is BS? In the shortly messaging, we said BS. What is BS? Budu Sarnai. But business studies also there. Business studies. Business studies. BS also there. In simply that classes also is BS. So BS means Budu Sarnai business studies. Firstly, if you look that thing, how you can understand that thing? Another thing I can tell you. Now tell me this thing. Think about it. Now you can see the English Sinhala words, English words also they use that thing similar to the Sinhala, like this thing. Think about some in Sri Lanka have Jaduru Oya, Attanagalu Oya, Uma Oya things are like this thing. Jaduru Oya. Jaduru Oya. Okay. Jaduru Oya. Jaduru is a Sinhala word, but we write that thing is English. Problem. That's Jaduru Oya. Oya no. In the messaging, sometimes Oya Kala the. That also Oya. This also Oya. But this one Oya, this one Oya. How actually? See, after that thing, Sinhala and English. If you both mix that thing, it's a problem. Because both have standard meanings. If you mix that thing, that standard meaning gone. Then confusing points comes. What is the meaning of this thing? Another good thing I can tell. See this thing. That normally we says, okay, JP means what? Jesu Pihitai. BS Budu Saranai. Good night. TC take care. What is the meaning of this thing? TTKDP. If you have a sense, you can give the idea. If you have the sense, you can give me the idea. What is TTKDP? You can put that thing for any message after this thing. In the next morning, you can put this message for another your friend. Good morning, TTKDP. What is the meaning of this thing? If you have, please get the practical sense and tell me. Mostly people, some people in the past, people use this point. They don't use this term. They use the long term, but we shortly use that thing like this, TTKD. Any idea that you have about that? What is TTKD? TTKD. Any idea? TTKDP. Have idea or not? TTKD. Have idea or not? It's okay if you don't have idea, no problem. Tell me. No problem. But if you get the practically idea, very simple, very simple. TTKDP means this tum kotiak depihitai. What's his sister? This tum kotiak depihitai. This tum kotiak depihitai. Okay. Think why if you use that type of term short like this, how the people can understand that thing? That's why English, Tanglish, that type of language, mixed ideas, not become a proper formal format. This language usage is informal, not standard. Got the point? No. Got the point? No. Okay or not? Okay, no. Clear? Clear? I think it's clear. Then, sister, go to the next page. You can see a small activity. That's a small homework for you. If you finalize that thing, no, finish that thing. No. I wrote that thing. No. Already write that thing or not? No, right. This is for small homework for you. Now you, in the first lesson and second lesson, both have some ideas about the communication mainly. No? Now you have the basic idea about the communication. No? So what is communication? This question you have to write. Write that thing, and after this class, only 7-8 minutes enough to write this thing small one. I give this actually just like half idea. I give you 8 marks for this thing. 8 near to half page. So 8 marks question is there. Another question is there for 12 marks, but this one another homework for you. Just write down this thing. Okay, you have to write down in the tute, not the paper. In the tute, just I give the space for that thing. Just write down. And go to the next thing that now we finalize the first topic of this lesson. What is that thing? Understanding of the communication. Now we move to the second topic of this lesson, nature of the communication. Nature means the environment, context or background of the communication. So nature of communication. So nature. Just firstly, you have to write near to that nature word in the left hand side. Nature have 3 main ideas. We can see nature means sometimes context, okay, sometimes environment, sometimes background, sometimes is surrounding. Surrounding. In the paper, if they use these four words, not they use sometimes nature. If they use these four words, not a problem. These four things also can explain you what is the nature of the communication. Okay, just put that ideas also there. Right. Okay. Right. Sometimes they use nature, sometimes they use environment, sometimes they use context, sometimes they use surrounding, sometimes they use background. Or nature, mainly there. Okay, right. Okay, no? Right. Okay. Okay, no? Right. Now, according to the nature idea of the communication, recently we write down what are the other meanings of the nature idea, no? But now you can understand, now after this thing you can understand what is actual nature. Nature means not that waterfalls, forest, trees, not that nature. This nature is what are the things that we can see in the background of the communication process. In here, you can see main 1, 2, 3, 7 topics are there. If you know these 7 topics, that means you know the what is the nature of the communication. And what are the topics that we can see in here? Everything starts in from what thing? Communication, 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 communication. Communication is, communication is, communication is, communication is, communication is, communication is. Everything. But you have to you don't want to highlight the communication is, communication is, communication. We know what is communication is, no? But just you have to highlight what thing? Other words. And I give you some small explanation for this thing with that in just one line idea. Why I give this thing? Because it is important for the MCQ paper. So each topic have some simple meaning. I give that thing one, and you can write that thing in the right hand side of the each word. Okay. Has aims in there, just highlight what is aims idea. Highlight the aims. Aims. Put a dash. Sorry. I write down these two aims. You already know. Literacy. Okay. Literacy. Criticism. Sorry. Literacy is there. Criticism is there. Mainly two aims. Literacy is there. Criticism is there. Not only that, education, motivation, entertaining also aims. You remember this thing in the past? The first lesson also starting the importance of the communication. That point in there, the first lesson, third topic, sub main part. In that point, importance, two aims are there. Two importance are literacy and criticism. Just after this lesson, just take that the first tune and you can see that thing. Under that thing, we wrote some information gathering, sharing, education, motivation, and entertaining. That type of importance also. That importance also aims. Main two importance are importance or aims are literacy and criticism. But other things are education, motivation, entertaining, that type of things. Okay. The next one, symbolic idea. Symbolic. Highlight the symbolic. Symbolic means the signs and body language use. How we use the signs and how we use our body as a communication factor. Signs and body language use. Sign language, and body language. Sign and body language use. Sign and body language usage. Okay. Right. Okay, now sign is here, body is here. Okay, now okay or not? I think it's okay. I think. Right. The next one, contextual ideas. There. Context. Very simple. Context is now also we are in the nature idea. No? Context means that the background of the communication. And what are the things in this inside? Elements are there. Elements, okay? Models, forms. Elements of the communication also add to the context. Models of the communication also add to the context. Forms of the communication that also add to the context. No problem. Write down that background of the communication. What are the background ideas there? Elements is there, models are there, forms are there. That's the thing. Very simple. It's not a difficult thing. Huh? Don't think too much about that thing. Very simple. Okay. I have to finish that thing at time. Elements are there. You know what is the elements? Communicators in the models. You already know one-way model, two-way model. Forms are there. Forms means audio, visual, written, that type of forms. Simple. I have to finish that thing at time. Okay. Okay. Right. Next one, activity. Activity. Activity means this thing. Okay. Few steps to follow. Few steps to follow. Activity means what thing? If you use in this communication process, you have to follow some few steps. Few steps you have to follow according to the communication. Few steps you have to follow. That is the idea. Steps you have to follow. Steps you have to follow. As an example, I can tell you this thing. Think about this very simple point. Already you know this thing. Okay. SMR. SMR, what is that idea? S means sender, M means message, R is receiver. You know already nothing. This is the step. Firstly, you have to cover up these steps and these steps. Then it's the communication. Okay. Steps. How to follow this first step and the second step. Okay. Everything have 4 steps ideas. Everything have that. Okay. In the lifestyle, think about in our life. In our life, what are the steps to follow? In our life, what are the steps to follow? What are the steps to follow? Okay. In our life, the child idea you have, then young level you have, then elder. Elder means not the old idea. I mean that 40, 50, 60, that is elder ideas there. And lastly, old ideas there. Old. Over 70, over 50, over 20, in Yes. See, life also have 4 steps. Then communication already have steps. That's the thing. Everything have some steps to follow. That's why the idea about the activity. That is the idea about the activity. That is the idea about the activity. Okay. Right. The next thing. This word actually we use in the academically in the communication, but in the paper they don't give this word. They give actually variations of the communications or something, classification of the communication or something. Heterogeneous idea. Heterogeneous means what thing that variations of the communication. Just write down variations. Hetero idea. It means variations of the communication. Variations of the communication. Variations of the communication. Variations of the communication. Variations. Variations of the communication. Variations means what are the types or what are the forms, what are the patterns that we can use in the communication. In that things, put a bracket and write, you have to write types is there, forms are there, patterns are there. What are the types of the communication? What are the forms of the communication? What are the patterns of the communication? These 3 things we can cover up in here. What thing for the heterogeneous idea or the variations idea about the communication. Okay. 3 things are there: types of the communication, forms of the communication, and the patterns of the communication. Okay. 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 After finish that thing, just note down. Variations ideas there. 3 things are there: types, forms, and patterns. Types, forms, and patterns. Right. Last two. Last two only one thing I recently draw this thing. One way and 2 way, no? One way means this thing. Just draw this thing in there, okay? Recently draw that thing. Send a message receiver. This is one way. One way have no answers are there and no reactions. It means feedbacks. Just write down that thing. Draw this thing, and this thing you have to write down in there. This is the first one way. Now the second one 2 way like this. Sender, change the arrows and receiver. It has answers. It has reactions. It means feedbacks. Just draw this thing. Very simple idea. This is the proper communication. Why? It has the feedbacks. This one is not like that. I have finished that. I tell you. Have to write down this thing, huh? Okay. Draw these 2 things and write down these points. Okay. Right. 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 As an example, I can tell you that one way communication have just write like this, that reading newspaper, listen to the radio or something. That reading newspaper, listen to the radio, that both that examples don't have a reaction. Just reading newspaper, just listen to the radio, no reactions are there. But two-way examples, think about. And calls like telephone conversations, this type of online classes or something, interviews or something, chatting with someone. That type of things are two-way communication. Why? That type of things have reactions. That's why. Okay, no? One way and as well as two way. The last one. And what is the last one? Power. Power means actually communication can change the people's lifestyle. And actually communication can change the people's attitudes, behaviors, and there are temporal some changings actually. Three things you have to know about this thing. How the communication can change the people's lifestyle. There are three powers are there. Three power means this thing. Mainly in every country, the first power is actually the president, first citizen. Second power actually parliament, because they developed the constitution idea. Third one is court. You only know that justice idea comes in here, laws ideas comes in here, responsibilities comes in there. And fourth main biggest power is media. Why? These three things, ideas, how they share using through the medias. That's the thing. That's why media have a power. Why? If you people know something about the president, know something about the parliament, or know something about the court ideas, using what? Medias. Without media, how they share that ideas to the public people? Ah, that's the thing. That's why media have a power. Media can change the presidents also, right? In Sri Lanka, best example is Gota Go Home. Social media campaigns really effect for that. Social media campaigns overcomes president resign actually. That social media activities that influences change the people's attitudes and the behaviors. Then the people make a revolution. That revolution actually is successful. Now government actually comes after that revolution. Corruption things, we just have to stop the corruptions, and some court cases are there now. Is that thing? Who is the plan of that thing? Now if they discuss that thing in the court, good thing, no? But that's not the idea. Media can make three powers like this. So the first power is this thing, just write down. Change what thing? People's interests. Interest means advertisements or buy some products or that type of things. First power is media can change the people's interest. As an example, you can write down election. Elections, they change our interest. So we go there and give some of our votes for some people. Media change our attitudes for that thing. So we go there and put our vote for someone. Okay, first interest. Second one, opinions. Public opinions mainly. As an example, we can see the political party idea. Political parties. Okay. That one, publicity. Publicity or popularity, whatever it is, no problem. Okay. As an example, news is there, cinema, example for that. Just write down. So media can affect to the society using three terms. It can change the people's interest, opinions, publicity. That's the power of the communication. That's the power of the communication. Okay, now, if it's okay or tell me. It's okay, tell me. Interest, opinions, and publicity. Election, political parties, and news cinemas. Right. Now, these seven natures are the main natures of the communication. Natures means the background of the communication, surrounding of the communication. Okay, that's the point. Now, according to the seven natures of the communication, first thing we can discuss today. First one. Okay, first one. For the first one, communication has aims, ideas. Communication has aims, ideas. You can see in here so many aims. Recently I told you. Aims means what are the targets or main objectives of the communication. You can see additional other aims in here: education and education, sharing information, motivation, entertaining, and socialization ideas. This five things mainly functions of the communication. In the first lesson also we discussed the thing in the importance of the communication. See, now the link of this thing. If you have some idea about that thing, if they ask something about that thing, you can combine this thing and that one and make a new answer, no problem. This one and that one totally same. But main two things not in here. Why I don't give that thing? Because in the first lesson we discussed that thing, but you have to write down in here. Put a bracket and write. Main two aims of the communication is what thing? Literacy and criticism. Just write down. Literacy and criticism. Literacy and criticism. Literacy and criticism. Okay. In the education purposes, what type of things we can see in there? Education purpose. Put a bracket and write. Education purposes means write down this thing: educational publications, education websites, and news. For the education, reports, documents, resource, that thing, no problem. But news mainly, educational websites mainly, education publications are there. That type of things, other ideas about it. Okay. Finish that thing and tell me. Okay. Some more things are there. Just I give education publications are there, newspapers. educational websites are there. Share information, next one. Share information means this thing. Just put back and right. Share information means mainly news is there. You start newscasting, reports, gazettes, circules, right now. Newscasting is there, reports are there, gazettes is there, circules are there. Circules. Circules are there. Is that clear? Tell me. Right. Motivation means what? Motivation actually comes mainly using advertisements. Advertisements are there, and some campaigns are there. And it's called endorsements. And sponsorships are there. Note down that. Advertisements can motivate the people, campaigns can motivate the people, endorsements can motivate the people, sponsorships can motivate the people. These three can motivate the people. That's the point. Okay. That's the point. Okay, and tell me. If it's okay, tell me. Right. Right. Next one, entertaining. Entertaining is the main thing under mass communication. Okay. Mainly communication point is motivation. In the mass communication, main point is entertaining. Entertaining, how it actually comes in the media. Just entertaining like this type of is very simple. Teledramas is there. Teledramas, reality shows, cartoons, okay, musical play charts. Now, not much that type of thing. So, teledramas, reality shows, sometimes telefilms are there. Just write down. Examples for the entertaining. Exams for the entertaining. Just note down. Right. Okay. Right. Okay. Right. Socialization. Next one. Socialization, whatever it is, no problem. Socialization means suit to the society. That is the point. Suit to the society. That's the point. And how actually comes like that? Very simple. It comes like this. So discussions we can use for that thing. Discussions. Okay. And social trends. Okay. That thing. And some motivational speech or campaigns. And ideal people's imitations. Ideal people's imitations. Just not that. Ideal people's imitations. Okay. Right. 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 This type of things are the aims of the communication. Mainly other two also we wrote, no, literacy and criticism, that idea. And that type of things are the ideas. Okay. Right. Now the next thing, symbolic idea. Only that thing we can discuss for today. Next thing we can discuss, this next things actually we can discuss next week. Okay. Context, activity, heterogenesis, and the one and two-way idea, and the power. Next day we can discuss that type of things. Okay. And only the last topic for discuss today is communication is symbolic idea. The symbolic idea actually comes, it's actually, we can use a similar name for the symbolic idea like the non-verbal. Okay. In the third lesson, we have to learn about that thing as a form. Non-verbal. Non-verbal means without using any words, you can express so more things directly and creatively to other people to get some ideas. Near to the symbolic word, just put a bracket and write this name. It's non-verbal. 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 Non-verbal means what thing? Without using languages. Without using any languages, we can express so many things for other people. That is non-verbal. That is non-verbal. 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 Okay, non-verbal. Right? Okay, non-verbal. Without using any words, you can express some more things to other people directly. It's called non-verbal without using any language. But in here we use symbolic idea. Okay, okay, okay. Right. In examples, you can see so many things in here. What are those symbols like signs, mudras? Mudras means that you can see that thing in the statues. Yeah. And you can see that the mudra and drama thing also there. You know, the Bharatanatyam, Kathak, that type of things have that type of idea. Mudras mainly for the statues, but drama things also have. Drawings are there, paintings, you know. maps in the past or nowadays also we can see the maps. You know, the Google map or something, think about. Google Maps also have the areas, indicators are there, more symbols are there. Okay, direction is there. We can see the traffic and railways, roads, by roads, shortcuts, everything is in there. Okay, alphabetical letters means just letters. Alphabet. Alphabet also a collection of symbols, letters. Sounds also there. You know the horn things, voice, music, hooting, that type of things in the past also as a non-verbal idea. Okay. Music also you can add to this thing. Just highlight all the examples in there. And go to the next page. Last topics of that idea. Main categories of the symbolic communication. Firstly, you have to highlight these two types of symbolic communication. First type is sign language. Just highlight the sign language. Sign language. Sign language is there. Sign. Sign. What type of signs we can see in there? Sign language. Sign language. Sign language. Sign means actually no any words in here. What are the examples projecting such sign languages? Road signals are there. Traffic and color lights are there. Traffic lights or color lights have three colors: green color, red color, and orange mixed yellow color is there. But it's a world standard that not only for Sri Lanka. Red means stop, green means go, and that orange makes yellow called actually ready. Oh, try ready for acceleration, that thing. But in the world also they use these three colors. They don't tell anything about these colors because people know this thing. Commonly, red is top. But red color has so many meanings. Love and affection is there. Caring idea is there. Danger, that idea also there. Attention, that idea also there. And stop idea also there. See, colors can indicate so many things. Colors can demonstrate so many meanings. That's the point. That's why it's become a sign. Emotions are there. You the facial expressions ideas are there. Laughing, smiling, anger look or something. Emotions. Put it back and right. Put it back and right. Facial expressions. Facial expressions. In the drama thing, you can use that, emotions, expressions. Fourth one, flags are there. School flags, national flags have some symbols are there, colors are there, more meanings are there. As an example, Sri Lankan, that national flag, the green color and orange color indicate the other nationalities. And there's a lion with a sword and maroon color background, yellow color frame is there. So everything says so many things. Okay. Next are badges, schools, colors. Okay. Your school also have a badge. Recent school have a badge. Your recent school have a school colors. You can see that in school day or walking day or any other assembly or prize give it no. Normally, or you can wear a tie. You can wear a badge is there. Badges have some symbols, but colors also symbols. Okay, colors also symbols. That is the point. And logos are there. Logos. Logos means every production logo, product logos are there. Product logos means every, that Nestamolto in Sri Lanka, Nestamolto, Viva or Horlicks or Milo or Coca-Cola or every brand have a logo. If someone saw that logos in every area, automatically they can get the idea about the product. Okay, without buying, we can say, I want this product. Why you firstly see the logo? Then you can secondly get the idea about the product. Okay, logo is the thing. That also have some science illustrations are there. Logos can express so many words. Your signature, just highlight, just write down that the signature. Your signature also a sign language. Your signature also a sign. And alphabetical letters also sign. And another one thing in there, you know you don't know this thing actually in drama or dancing or any other things you if you done. It's a very important thing for that thing, eye contact. Eye contact. Eye contact. Eye contacts. Is there. Right. Move to the next thing. Body language. That your personality forces people's or principal, any other type of professional people, lawyer, doctor, teacher, every that type of people have a personality. Personality. That personality, actually, we can check that thing in their appearance, the background idea, and without talking with someone, we can get the point from them. Check their personality. That's body language idea. Choreography mainly for the drama and mainly for dancing. Choreographers, they make the rhythms and the style and the pattern and formations are there, all things correct, and make a creation. Choreography, mainly dancing things are there. Moves means actually some people have some common moves. Some people, I have this thing, this move because I wear spectacles. Now this move I have. Some people have things. This type of moves are there. Some people, this type of things are there. Okay, some people scratching their face or something, nose or something, and they use this type of moves. There are so many things. Okay, you also have that type of things. I also have that type of this unique one. Every people have that. Costumes and clothes. Yeah, according to the occasion, we have to wear the clothes like that. For the funeral, white color, but it's not in wedding is not a white color idea. We colorfully wear for that thing. That's fine. It's depend on the occasion. Postures also same like that for the photogenical things. Actually, photography modeling or something. In that time, you need the postures for that thing, the angles and the techniques. Okay, the fashion modeling or something. Think about next one, the behaviors. Actually, you can get some people's attitudes without talking with them with their behaviors. Some people, some stubborn, and some people very informally work in some area. You can get the idea from that thing. Okay, this person have this type of mentality because behaviors are not suitable to the occasion. That's the thing. Okay, that's enough for today. Now, just read this. Just write down this example. Question. In the writing book, question. This question actually 12 marks question. No, 16 mark question. 2 pages answer I want. Just write down. Okay. This is the question. Put to the date and the topic of the lesson. I already put that thing. Okay. This is the question. Right. Write down. The classification. Write down the classification. Write down the classification of the language usage and write down the classification of the language usage and classification of language usage and explain. Firstly, you want to write only the classification with the characteristics, okay, and explain 3 types of natures. Each nature have 4 marks. Language classification have only a 4 mark. So 4 multiplied by 4, 16. Okay, that's the idea. 3 natures of the communication with their examples. I give so many examples for you. Correct that thing. With their examples. We just discuss aims and the thing, symbols ideas are there. And before that thing, I just give you the context idea also. Okay. And context idea, you have already that idea. And every actually main 7 natures, already I give the simple idea about that thing. You can write that one-way and two-way idea also there, because one-way and two-way idea have to write something, you have to draw the models, and you can explain that no reactions and reactions ideas there. So aims and symbolic idea you can write easily. And after that thing, select one-way, two-way idea, or select context idea, or anything, no problem. Everything simple meaning I explain you recently. You can use that simple meaning, and just only each one have 4 marks. No? Simple passage you have to write down each first, right? Then after the thing, send it to me. Okay, that's enough for today. Any doubts? If you have, please put a WhatsApp message for me. And so 5th lesson actually we can finalize this week, and 2nd lesson we have to start. And after this 5th lesson, after the 5th lesson finished, I send you the 6th lesson. Then you can get that thing, and this week we finalize the 5th lesson, and after next week we can start the 6th lesson. Okay, then okay, now that's only enough for today. Now thanks for joining with me, and any doubts, please, if you have, please put a WhatsApp message to me. Okay, then see you next time. Catch you later, and good night. Any problems if you have, please put a WhatsApp message me and ask that anything from me. Okay, then bye. Good night and take care.